what? When did that rule change? Because I was pissed.
I love it. I love it.
I was so mad. I was like, what the is going on?
Welcome to My God, a Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I review Georgia's SEC East clinching 45-19 win over Mississippi State on the road in Starkville. As always, remember to check out store.mygodapodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at My God, a Podcast. Finally, we'd love for you to check out our presenting sponsor, Oxia Time, at oxiatime.com. That's AXIATIME.com. Now, let's join the conversation in progress. We're in. We're in with the late start after my TV watching. So thanks for being flexible, John.
Yes. Apparently, The Walking Dead is still a thing.
Still a thing. Almost over. I thought it was ending tonight. It ends next week. My bad.
For what it's worth, I missed apparently it was Yellowstone's season premiere. So
yes,
I'll watch that one on record.
Yes, we'll have to watch that later this week. We were gonna watch that actually, and then we realized I think it was like 2 hours or something. It's
a 2-hour season premiere.
Yeah. So Kim was like, I gotta go to bed. I can't stay up that late.
Yeah.
So we did a 1 hour Walking Dead instead.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so everything went exactly as we expected, right? In the game.
I mean, exactly. I mean, Dejan, everybody just they just ground them out on the ground, like, man, exactly how we thought it was going to go.
I'm fine being wrong in ways that we won by more than either of us thought we would. I think, if I'm doing my math right, just in a different way than we thought we would. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I think I was close.
You were closer than I was. Yeah,
I was pretty close. And had they not, if you think about it, like, you go back and you look at the game, you're like, this was another game that we just kind of played with our food.
Yes,
basically gifted them 14 points.
Yep.
We turned the ball over basically on our 20-yard line with one of those fluke interceptions, and then we gave
that was pretty impressive. I got a hat tip to, I don't even know the guy's name, but hat tip to the defensive lineman that made that play. I'm not saying it was like on the level of David Pollack.
No,
but it was impressive. It was impressive.
It was for sure not on the level of David Pollack. It was. Yeah. He stuck his hand up and the ball just landed, and I think it landed on Cedric Van Pran's arms, and he just didn't react, and the other guy did.
Right. Yes. So sorry, I took you off track.
Yeah. No, I mean, he made an interception, and then we had the punt that shall get filed away into the ether and never be seen again ever.
Have you seen Kirby's whole breakdown of that? So there was.
I mean, the gist of it was that he got out coached, is what I'm guessing, because he thought that they were going to go after it. Yeah. And so he put all of our slow people out there, which I feel like is kind of oxymoronic. And I feel like that he just gave away, hey, when we have these people out on the field, we think you're not going to go after it, and they're all slow. So maybe try to return it.
I didn't even think of that.
I hope to God that he changes that up, because that just means that anytime that personnel is out on the field for a punt, we're basically giving away our look that we're expecting you to come after us. And so
the punt safe, basically.
Yeah. Here's our punt safe personnel. I don't know, man. I'd like to just go ahead and put all the fast guys out there no matter what.
Right. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, that was weird. And the whole end of half sequence was just bad. I mean, we were kind of chasing points there, which I
loved it. That's hey, we got 50 seconds. Let's run down there and score. And I don't know what we were doing, but we just left too much time on the clock. If you're going to do that, try to chew the clock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we went 3 and out so fast, but
I know.
I have to. So you said you were pretty close in the score. I just looked. You actually were like pretty much right on. You were very close. So
Yeah.
you had 40-16. I had 38-10. But
Yeah.
40-16 versus 45-19. That's pretty good. It's pretty good, John. Well done.
Yeah, I was quite proud of myself. I was a little frustrated because like I said, you wipe out those two gimme scores. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, given the ball with 20 yards to go, you like your odds of putting points on the board.
Right.
And then that stupid, I mean, how many punt returns for touchdowns have we had the entirety of the season? And we just happen to have one of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, give him 14 points. So like, I told you that there's a world where this is almost a shutout. And we pretty much jacked them around for three quarters. And I mean, really the whole game, like it was never in doubt. Like we jumped on them fairly early. It felt like it would be a name your score game until we started turning the ball over. Got some calls going our way.
Yes.
I think we got some. I think they got some calls going their way. I mean, it was equally awful officiated.
The refs were just bad. They were bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not above admitting when we get calls that go our way. I mean, there were some bad ones for sure. I remember there was one in particular where like Chris Smith interfered and they didn't call it. The one thing that was frustrating to me on that note with the announcers, I guess I would say, it was mainly McDonough, was the whole like, did Dajon Edwards fumble or not with the forward progress, that play?
I thought he did fumble for what it's worth.
He did, but they had
whistled it dead.
They whistled it dead. And so like the counter of that is like not too long before that, there was a third down situation where McIntosh, same thing happened, except it was like a positive. It would have been a positive for Georgia had they not blown it dead. So like I saw him do it multiple times. So the other one was they blew the play dead with McIntosh, but after they said he was down, after they said forward progress was stopped, he got the first down. But we didn't get the first down because they said forward progress was stopped. So like that helped us once and hurt us once. So I don't know, kind of went both ways. But overall, the officiating was pretty bad. But we are the SEC East champs, so that got settled on track there, and I don't know, got to be happy about that.
Yeah, exactly. Happy for all the things that happened on Saturday. It's just virtual chaos.
Yeah, it's on that note, it's always good when there's chaos going around and you're not a part of it. So we just kind of
not a part of it.
Ho hum, keep the engine going. I do have to give
it's also nice to not be a team that's on the outside looking in, where you're throwing the ball up 40 something points in the fourth quarter, like against Vandy.
Right.
Against who they play?
Missouri.
Missouri, that's what it was.
Yeah,
I knew it was a yellow and black team.
Yeah, no, yeah, don't you gotta throw some respect on Vandy's name with their win over Kentucky. So
exactly.
What I was about to say was you got to give a shout out to the road dogs that traveled to this game. It was hard to tell from the overhead cameras. I saw someone say this. I don't know who said it, but I saw someone say this on Twitter. I think that like probably with it being at night and cold, a lot of people were wearing jackets. So it was kind of hard to tell based on just the color of people in the stadium. But I've seen some pictures and a video of like the light up Davis Wade, I guess, in the fourth quarter. There were a lot of flashlights on in the fourth quarter.
I was about to say, unless there was just a bunch of Mississippi State fans that were partaking in the fourth quarter tradition that UGA does with the light up the stadium. Unless there was a lot of those guys. I mean, it looked like an entire half of the stadium was lighting up that stadium, and and it was audibly there were multiple points where it was like, oh wow, there's a lot of dog fans there that were cheering and booing.
Yeah, seriously. I do. You have to help me remember this, John. Again, if we ever go there, we're gonna buy cowbells and sneak them, or I don't, you don't have to sneak them in. They're allowed. And I'm going to ring my cowbell while Mississippi State has the ball, like use it against them. That's my plan.
Yeah, seriously. We definitely talked about that. Like, how is that legal? Like, they definitely
Yeah.
were doing it all game long.
Yeah, it is loud. It is loud. I did think, and I just, and that we're an audio medium, but I noticed I shook my hand, pantomiming that I was doing ringing cowbell, and I don't know if you noticed this. That seemed to be like a running celebration for our players last night.
Yes.
Multiple
Yes.
guys did the I'm shaking the cowbell when they scored a touchdown.
Yep. Exactly.
I like that. I like that. I
No,
know Darnell did that.
I think Lad did that. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Brock did it. Yeah, it was definitely a thing.
So what you kind of said earlier about like playing with our food, that is exactly how I would categorize it. Like I feel like in this game, I think like in general, we were texting about this. Like I think I said something like the only thing that's slowing us down this season is like complacency, right? Complacency, and then when we start to turn the ball over and these things, and like this game, like we were kind of, one of the things we were wondering, right? Like on the road at night, how are they going to come out? Are they going to start fast? And we started super fast, right? I mean, we get the ball, we march right down and score. Um, and we did run the ball well on that drive,
Hmm.
from what I can recall. Or sorry, I didn't get that time. Well, when we first got the ball, right? Because they punted, they had the ball first, but when we first got the ball, march down the field and score.
Hmm.
Um, and then like
It was a beautiful series, like
it was
a beautiful set of plays that were being called, and it was just like, oh wow, we're gonna make quick work of these guys.
right. It was awesome. And something that stood out to me on that drive, because I think one of the things I had been kind of complaining to you about was like running back rotation stuff and like, can we not leave a guy in for a drive? And I was pleased. I mean, Kenny McIntosh, for the most part, played that entire first drive. They brought Kendall Milton in like on the play that scored. I think maybe to uh, further sell the handoff, maybe like in the jumbo package kind of deal. So that was pleasant to see. I like to see that. I always feel like, can we just let a guy get a drive? Sometimes let a running back get in a rhythm. And I thought Kenny looked good early. But after
Yeah,
that first
can't.
touchdown, which I guess on that touchdown, like not covering Brock Bowers is certainly a choice. That's something that one can do.
They
So
didn't cover Darnell later in the game.
right, yeah, it does. It did feel good to have it be the other school and fan base who was screaming "cover the tight end" and like not us being the ones to scream that,
Yeah, exactly.
because
I think
historically, I've felt that way many times.
this game, this game is interesting on a number of levels. You got a little bit of everything, right? You got people that played out of their mind. You got people that played out of character. You got a little bit of. I mean, this has to be the punter. Yeah, this has to be Brett's worst game, right? Like,
Yes.
is this the first time the Australian has been to a sub 30-degree game? Like,
Right. Yeah.
is this the
Seriously.
first time he's been in cold weather? Like, it just felt like from the first punt, I was like, oh crap, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah, so I think, and he had one that he boomed, that I think makes his average look better. So he had three punts for 143 yards. So he averaged 47 yards a punt, but he had a 62 yarder. And that one that was returned, I mean, it was low and not deep. It was all everything you don't want to do, especially when you're in punt safe and can't guard the return. So
Yeah, I think he shanked one. He shanked the first one. I felt like.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know. But then yeah, Stetson making some kind of bad, I would say, I'd say they're Stetson type plays. Stetson of old, I guess. Like let's just refer to it as the stereotypical Stetson. When people think about the UGA quarterback, they think, oh yeah, he's just this midget quarterback that like can't throw. Like that's the lead, right?
Right. The old
for
narrative.
for the old narrative. Yeah, the old narrative. That's a better phrasing. But then like you got the new narrative, which is this year, like the guy's bombing out and making NFL throws. Like he makes it. I mean, he had like an almost picked off pass that like Lad McConkey kind of came back and played cornerback on.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
And we talked about it that they had one of the best, defensive backs in the country in this game, and I'd say that he did pretty well. He took a couple of receptions away. One, I think he took a touchdown away from Bowers. He took a nice gain away from Rosemy Jack Saint down the sideline. That like
Yeah.
they had a good defensive back situation for sure.
Yeah, and their linebacking core was good too. I mean, I think I feel like we put up, 45 points, obviously, like a lot of points. I felt like their defense was pretty good. I mean, I guess they did what they were trying to do, right, in taking away the run. So they succeeded in that. And
they wanted us to throw the ball.
right, and we did. And I mean, is it time to say welcome back, Kearis Jackson?
I mean, we did. We talked about it. He was due for a breakout game, and he had a couple long bomb catches. So
yeah,
I welcome Kearis back to the reception column.
Yeah. So let's see, Kearis had 4 catches for 69 yards. So with a long of 30. So, and that one was nice. That was a great, and I know it got called out on the broadcast that there was a great body control. The way he shielded the defensive back from the ball was very nice on that one. So it was impressive. It was good to see Kearis round back into form. I mean, but back on the Stetson thing, like
I was just about to say, let me finish what I was going to say about Stetson. Like you had some bonehead plays, some bonehead throws. I mean, I feel like that there was a play that he was trying to get the ball to Kearis, and it was after one of Kearis's long runs. Maybe he was tired. Maybe they should have subbed him out. I don't know. But like it looked exactly like the overthrow that he had where you remember a few games ago where Ladd McConkey was breaking open down the middle and he kind of pulled up and we were kind of mad at him.
Yeah.
But we were also kind of glad that like Stetson overthrew it because it was in double coverage. It felt like it was the exact same play. I don't know if it was or not. Maybe Graham can clarify, but
got it.
Kearis was breaking open over the middle and there were two defenders there. And just little things like that, like missing. He missed on that play where Ladd had to come back and play cornerback. Like he missed Darnell wide open, like underneath.
Right. He's trying to do too much.
But then he goes and throws the ball like he did to Ladd McConkey, like and a straight up just like fade route NFL throw.
Yeah.
I mean, it was beautiful. It was almost as obviously not as good as the AD Mitchell throw in the national championship game, but it was of the same quality, right?
Yeah. And he did it. We got to see him do it on the ground on his legs again, which was refreshing. Like in the Tennessee game, there were multiple.
He hit the magical 250 passing, one rushing
with the rushing. Yeah. And he almost had 300 passing because he had 289 passing, 3 passing touchdowns, plus the rushing touchdown. And the rushing touchdown, 2 things on it. One, like against Tennessee, like we were getting, my dad and I, folks around us, we were getting kind of frustrated when we would run the zone read and we were just handing it off every time. There were multiple times where it felt like, Stetson, if you just keep the ball in the zone read, you're going to score. And so to see him do that on that play was awesome. So that's the first thing. And then the juke, holy cow. And, hey, my God, a podcast. Can you guys gift that, please? Request started rolling in. So that's always fun to see.
I just made the shake and bake. GIF because that was the broadcaster. That was the broadcast call. I thought it was amazing. I was like, yes, that's exactly right.
Love it.
Shake and bake. Trying to get my bourbons refilled. Try to get my cough syrup going.
Nice.
Take my medicine.
Yeah, you gotta follow my regimen.
Yeah, I did the high proof. I actually did the larceny full proof, the barrel proof.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got that holiday larceny gift set for my insulated cup. And then I didn't even bring it out. I didn't even bring it out by the fire. No, I forgot to.
What a fail.
But I did. I had a victory pour in my natty glass, so that was.
I saw that. I guess we should talk about the weekends at some point.
Yeah, we can get to that. Let's see if I had any other. I did have a couple of notes. Let me go back to my notes. Actually, I think we got to most of it. Like,
The only note that I didn't say was that Lad McConkey had almost as many total yards as Mississippi State's entire team did in the third quarter.
Yeah, man.
Like
Dude.
there was a graphic they showed that was like 170 total yards for Mississippi State, and Lad had like 140 something. It was absolutely incredible.
Wow. Wow.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
man.
5 minutes. There's 5 minutes left in the third quarter, and Mississippi State had like 140 total yards. Like,
Yeah.
that is the definition of getting your butt whooped.
Yeah, man. He went off. And that was what was nice is with the way the half ended, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, because we're totally dominating the game. To that point, you're feeling like, the offense had kind of stalled out at times, self-inflicted wounds. We go to the punt return, so we're only up 5 at the half, and you're like, how is this possible? But then to come out in the second half and score that quickly, which it was the McConkey end around, right? I think that was the first touchdown in the third quarter. Man, it was just a good feeling, like a good answer to be like, okay, we don't need to be worried tonight,
Yeah. That was the moment where I made the GIF for Trigger Trey. Shout out Trigger Trey. That was the moment. That was the moment I made the GIF. These white men are dangerous.
Yes. Every time he tweets that, I die. It's so good. So good.
I mean, it's so true.
No one is to go near them.
Oh, and then what is chicken? And then Tavares King, was it Tavares?
I think it was. Yeah.
Tavares King's comment on Twitter. That's not Lad McConkey. That's Ladarius.
Yeah, I think he was responding to George Foster, right? Wasn't George like, I see Lad went to Stetson's barber or something like that, and then that's how that happened. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I did notice this. I did notice that as well. I was like, oh, he got faded up too. whoever the UGA barber is needs to be commended. There needs to be like an ESPN story on the next game day that they have.
Right. I always wanted the story about like old Atlanta United. I always wanted to know about Tito Villalba's barber, which that story actually eventually was written. So I did get to hear that eventually.
Well, I was about to say, because I think if it's the same guy, I'm pretty sure that my buddy whose kid, he's Venezuelan. It's my inside source for all the Atlanta United stuff.
Gotcha.
He takes his kid and he goes and gets his hair cut by the same guy.
Same guy. Okay. Gotcha. Nice.
Which incidentally, I think is over by where Carter's soccer practice is.
Oh, nice. So it's funny, yeah, because when I was saying like, what are my notes? My note, I just found it, and it was like, what a third quarter by McConkey. So we had the same thing. My other thing was a bit of a mea culpa. I did tweet this out. I was very disappointed that when we did the special teams preview, I failed to note that their punter's name is George Georgopoulos. I thought that was amazing. Like every time they said it, I couldn't get over it. So I don't know. Sorry.
It sounds like a name that George would have said like on Seinfeld, like if he was trying to like come up with a fake name.
Right.
That's totally a George fake name situation.
For real. I don't know, man. We didn't. Oh, so how about like how many times the broadcast kept showing the chairs folded up? Did you notice that?
They did. They did. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh, like literally they took, well, I mean, frankly, it was deserved because they dropped like multiple balls all day long. One of which should have been a touchdown.
True.
One of which should have been a big gain. Like, I don't know. It's like, if Mississippi State were like Tennessee fans, they'd be like, man, if we had only completed those long balls that were wide open, man.
Seriously,
we would have beat y'all. It would have been much closer.
Oh man, for real. Which one of those receivers, something I knew this, but I didn't say it in the preview. I forgot about it. Was Justin Robinson transferred? So,
which, by the way, like, can we highlight the fact that UGA, like the state of Georgia's main export is apparently wide receivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and athletes to other teams in the
Right.
SEC.
Yeah, seriously. Jeez.
and beyond.
Right. For real.
I felt like I was hearing everybody's name, like what was it? Breeny had plays. Matt Landers had
Oh,
plays.
yeah.
Robinson had plays.
Yeah.
There were some other guys. There were some other guys too. I feel like I'm sure Brendan Cox did something. I don't know.
I don't believe he's playing anymore, John.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing, I guess, like game wise, one thing I was curious about heading in was like, what would we do on defense? Like, would we deploy the same strategy as we did in 2020? And we definitely didn't, because in that game on defense, we were like, for the majority of the game, we were just straight up rushing. There's like a 3-man rush and just dropping back into zone coverage. And we didn't do that. Like, we were bringing, I don't know, 4-man rush fairly often. So, and I think it worked a lot better. I mean, because again, like, they didn't really do a whole lot, right? I mean, they had the punt return, and then they had the other touchdown was on the short field off the pick. It was 22 yards. So, we said kind of bend but don't break. Kirby actually said bend but don't break in the post game interview. By the way, he acknowledged that that's basically what they did, and I mean, it was effective.
I think the broadcast crew highlighted this, or maybe it was Graham in the preview. I can't remember. I listened to so many. I listened to so many podcasts on Saturday. It was ridiculous.
Oh, while you're on your pregame run.
Yes. We could talk about our day on Saturday, but basically the takeaway was, whoever said it was like, basically Will Rogers is like an all-world quarterback from between the 20s.
Yeah. Yes.
Like from the 5-yard line to the 20-yard line, he's a great quarterback. But once he gets into the red zone or whatever, he's just not good. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they couldn't punch it in. They couldn't do anything. Like, I don't know what I guess like the field gets shortened and he just can't finish. But yeah, I mean, I think that kind of bared fruit. I mean, I think he played great. Like, I don't know that he threw that many bad balls. I think there's a couple of plays. I think Christopher Smith, if he makes that play, the dropped INT that he had, where it kind of fell to him. I think if he catches that, like, the game was effectively over, if it wasn't already.
Yeah.
Because that was a pick six if he catches that.
Yeah, it would have been a tough catch because it got deflected, right? I think like the other guy tipped it or something,
it got deflected and it hit him in the hands. Like,
yeah, it did. It did.
Like, it hit him like straight up in the hands. I think it just kind of bounced and he just kind of. I think he dove to try to catch it.
Right. Well, I think we dropped a pick on the very next play too. I think it was like back-to-back plays. It was pretty close in sequence.
It was like, other than those two throws, I thought he played really well.
He did. Yeah, I just looked up his. I mean, guys, they throw the ball so much. So he was 29 and 51 for 261 yards and a touchdown. We did, and we only sacked him once. It's only one sack. But
I think he's a better quarterback than Hooker, to be honest with you. But
yeah, well, on your comment around like the field tightening up, I think it has to do with that whole like the air raid being like a triple option passing scheme where you got all these routes and like that underneath stuff is there when the field's more wide, like when you're farther away, because you have to honor the deep ball, right? And then when they get in the red zone, there is no deep ball. Like everything is at intermediate. So I think it makes it a little bit easier on the defense to kind of discern what's going to happen. So I don't know. That's my take there.
I agree.
So, let's see. We can talk about go ahead.
Are we about to talk about our defense?
We can talk about whatever you want. Yeah, go for it. We talk about whatever.
I want to talk about Mr. Lassiter.
Okay.
Kamari Lassiter had an absolute breakout game. If there was one person on this team that stuck out more than anybody else, it was Kamari Lassiter. There was, at the very beginning of the game, there was a play, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but like basically he got beat. Kamari got beat, but after that play, I don't think he lost a single thing. Matter of fact, like, there were multiple open field tackles that he made. There was a tackle that he made on 4th down that when Mississippi State was like knocking on the door. I think it was like the 10-yard line or something like that. It was 4th down.
Yeah.
And like the receiver caught the ball and he crashed down hard.
Yeah.
And went flying in like a missile, like Greg Blue style, not like just how fast he was, heat-seeking missile. Like he was just laser on and hit the kid, and the kid fell, and obviously like they turned it over on downs. It was a big play, right?
Yeah.
And it was an open field tackle. There was another play earlier in the game that he did the same thing. There was a quick little play to the outside, and he crashed down hard, and it went nowhere. It was a straight up clean tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He had multiple defenses where he, caused bad. He didn't allow any catches and things like that. Like, I just thought he played lights out. Like Kamari Lassiter played lights out. Basically, he's the next cornerback. He was announcing himself to me, maybe some others out there, that he's going to be the next elite cornerback at the University of Georgia. And I was impressed.
I was too. I don't have much to add to that. He had a heck of a game. And I think I thought Bullard was playing very well again too. I know he got a little dinged up. I haven't seen any updates on him. Hopefully he was okay, because I know he came back, but then he looked a little slow. Was kind of gimpy there. I know his snap count dipped a bit, so I'm not sure that he came back, but he's really coming into his own as well.
Here's the thing that I want to like underscore for people, if you haven't picked up on it. Everybody talked about, and I'll allude back to a 100 Sanford podcast. Like I said, I listened to a lot of podcasts on Saturday, and like I always listen to those guys. Love George and Lamar and Trey and Graham, but they're part of the squad. But there was a comment that their guest, and I'll apologize to the team because I don't remember who they had on. I think it was the Tennessee weekend where the guy had mentioned that one of the weaknesses to this Georgia defense was how young the defense was. Let me tell you something. If this defense, if their weakness is the youth in the secondary, and they're playing the way that they've been playing, and they're playing the way that they are, like, y'all better watch out in a few years, because if this young team grows up over the next couple of years, you're going to be talking about multiple first-round draft picks in the secondary that are going to absolutely light up the SEC from a defensive standpoint. I'm not going to guarantee interceptions, but I'm just thinking that they're probably going to come.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think Kirby knows how to recruit defensive backs. So
him and Muschamp, frankly, too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The cupboard is full.
yeah, for sure. Let's see. I don't know. Did you have anything else on the game specifically? I guess. Well, okay. So we mentioned Leach and the chairs thing. His interviewing was kind of weird, like the walking into the tunnel while he was being interviewed coming off the field.
I heard a little bit about that. I didn't. Alluding to my day or whatever on Saturday.
Yeah.
So halftime, I was out for the first half. Let's see, what were we doing? I had to go do something at halftime. I think I had to go get Carter or something like that at halftime. But anyway, I missed the interviews at halftime.
Okay. Yeah. It was just weird that he usually they stand there with the coach and talk to him. Like he wouldn't stand still. He just kept walking. And so Molly McGrath had to walk with him. And by the time he was in the tunnel, by the time the interview was over, it was weird.
So here's in her defense. I mean, he's been around for a while, right? Like he's coached for a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they used to do it. I mean,
I'm not defending her. I'm saying I thought that it was weird on his part. Like he wouldn't stop and just talk to her.
Well, no, I'm saying from the coaching standpoint, coaches always used to just walk. Like I don't know what point they decided to stop and well, you know what I mean? Right. I don't know at what point. Fair. I don't know at what point we all decided this was okay. But I distinctly remember Mark Richt walking along, talking to what's the chick from CBS, Wolfson?
Who it used to be, yeah.
Wolfson, yeah. I distinctly remember that. So
I it was kind of weird, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, I guess he kind of is what he is.
The feedback that I saw on Twitter, or I think maybe Graham had mentioned it, like they were talking about, like, I guess he didn't exactly answer the question or something like that.
No, it was the walking part. It was the walking part. It was, yeah. He just whatever. I thought it was weird.
Listen. This was a Aaron Sorkin. This was an Aaron Sorkin direct.
it was a walk and talk.
It was the walk and talk.
It was a walk and talk.
It was the same person that did the British Bulldog interview.
Nice. All right. Well, why don't we take a quick moment to remind everyone that season 3 of My God, a Podcast is presented by Oxia Time. So Oxia Time is a custom watch company, and you've got to check out their 2021 Georgia National Championships collection. You can check them out at oxiatime.com. They now have 3 Georgia National Championship watches. So you've got your standard, you've got a blackout watch, and now there's a ladies watch as well. So something out there for everyone. Be sure to go check them out. Exclusively for our listeners, you can get 10% off of your timepiece by using the code MyGottaPodcast at checkout. So be sure to go check them out at oxiatime.com. That's AXIATIME.com. All right. So let's see. Let's quick update on Coach Trill's over-unders. So you maintained a lead. You had, I was 1 pick better than you this week. I went 6-2. You went 5-3. So I'm, as Coach said, I've decided to keep chopping, and so I'm trying to come back. I'm just going to keep chopping, and we'll see. What I texted you, by the way, or you and Coach, was incorrect. I thought that I was like almost 3-0 in offense, and that the Kendall Milton touchdown maybe go 1-2, but that was not correct. I still would have only gone 2-1. But hey, I'm okay with Kendall Milton taking on touchdown, getting something wrong for me. Totally fine. That was the over under 2.5 rushing touchdowns. That was the third one.
I need to go back and relook at what my picks were, because I'm like, man, I missed all over the board.
You missed the special teams in the miscellaneous. I think that's what hurt you this week. Well,
I missed the offense too. Like I missed at least one in every category except for defense.
Right. Let's see. It was probably over. I think we both took the over on 300 passing yards. I think that's actually I think that was your one you got wrong on offense. So
okay. And
that's where that 289 passing, very close.
I swear, if one of those special teams touchdown things, if that was the one that I missed.
No, this week's special teams was it was over under 2.5 punts. And we punted 3 times exactly. So that's what it was. This was an actual like statistical one. Don't worry, John. Don't worry.
Got it.
Too funny. Well, so yeah, I like I had mentioned, we didn't really have a whole lot going on this week, so we were super low key. I made bean dip. We actually ended up doing the dinner basically that I said. Kim and Lily did the shopping, so we did bean dip and we did burgers, grilled up burgers, and then had a fire going for the game. And then we did go see Black Panther today. Wakanda Forever. I believe it's Black Panther : Wakanda Forever, I think. At any rate, it was excellent. If you're a Marvel person, I recommend it.
I have a feeling that they understand.
Okay. Yes. Good. Fair enough. So yeah, so it was a good weekend here. We had a good time.
It was good. We had so I in the preview episode, I had neglected that we actually had a neighborhood. Well, I say neighborhood, but whatever. It was usually an annual pig roast. They hadn't had it in 3 years because of COVID or whatever. So this was the first pig roast that they had done post COVID or whatever.
Gotcha.
And so my contribution was Panda's famous bean dip. And
yes,
you were so kind. And I didn't tell you about this. I didn't text you or anything, but it was completely gone before I left.
Nice. So, it goes fast.
And I will tell you, dear listener, if you're curious, like, man, maybe I should make this dip. I don't know if the kids will eat it. I was that person. I didn't think my kids would eat it. And I had 2 kids ask me, where's the rest of the bean dip this morning?
Nice.
And I said, guys, they ate it all. and I was told, "Can we make it again?"
Yes, I love it.
And I literally told Caroline, I literally told my 8-year-old that we didn't have the ingredients. She goes, "I'm gonna go check."
Nice. You fancied it up. You went all out on the presentation. So
I
gotta try to paint the picture.
I had a reputation.
I gotta paint the picture here. I gotta paint the picture here because the picture I saw, and you pointed out something that I didn't recognize. I'm glad you called it out. There were avocados lined on the side representing that the bean dip had gone between the hedges. So amazing. Yes. So amazing. And then you had a Power G. Was that a Power G of salsa in the middle on top of the cheese?
It was a Power G of Rotel. I actually changed the recipe a little bit.
That's okay. It's okay. You can make modifications.
I had to modify it because I didn't get any tomatoes, and I was like, crap, I didn't get any tomatoes. But I looked in the other thing is that I didn't have seasoned black beans, which is a key component.
Sorry, my bad.
Of the bean dip, Jim. That was left out in my instructions. So I had to replace some sort of flavor.
There you go. Well, see, my instructions are mine's like the easy way. My mom actually cooks the beans in seasoning, that kind of stuff. I just buy seasoned black beans because
it's funny.
I shorten it up.
It's funny you say that because while I was making it, I actually had that thought myself. I was like, man, I feel like I should cook these.
You can. Cook them. I personally like the texture of the beans if they're not. And here we have gone off the rails again on the bean dip, but that's okay because that's on brand. I like the texture of the.
This is our show.
We can talk about whatever we want. I like the texture of the not cooked bean dips personally. So that
okay.
Did I even say that right? I like the texture of the non-cooked black beans. So that's why I do like to do these seasoned black beans in the can and just don't even cook them, throw them in there. So that's my preferred way. If you cook the beans in the seasoning, though, it is good too. It's also excellent.
I will say that it is much easier.
Yes,
to not cook them.
Right. I also go for the faster way to do it for sure.
Yeah. I ended up throwing some taco seasoning around. I think I sprinkled some on top. I went one key to the Powell version of Honda's famous bean dip is that there were no olives. I'm sorry.
We don't do this. I said that's
do the olives.
That's an optional step, John. Optional step. Those last two steps were optional. We don't do that either. I don't like that either. So,
but it was popular. I'm gonna have to make it. I'm for sure gonna be making it for Kentucky because Lindsay had Santa sessions. Lindsay had Santa sessions, and then I think Saturday she went shopping with my daughter or whatever. But she wasn't around. She didn't actually get to sample any of the bean dip, so I'm going to make it again this coming weekend.
Got to make it again. Got to have it. Oh, nice. Yeah, well, that's awesome. I'm glad everyone enjoyed it. Glad the kids liked it too. That's cool. We were 50-50 in this house. Ella loves it. Lily's not a fan. So more for me.
My daughters ate it for dinner.
Awesome.
On Saturday.
Yeah, we made it. I made it before dinner. And then we had hamburgers and French fries and salads. I was full. So we only ended up having a little bit of it during halftime last night. So it was lunch today. So that's always money.
Nice. Burgers sounds good. I haven't had a burger in a while. I'm going to have burgers this weekend.
Love a good burger. Love a good burger. Well, like I said, it was good. It was good to have us not affected by the chaos. And I'll say too, on Mississippi State, they're 6-win team. They're going to go to the bowl. They're going to win again next week. So it'll be a 7-win team. They've beaten the teams that they should beat, and they've lost to the good teams. So their losses are LSU, Kentucky, Alabama, and us. So although Kentucky is kind of taking it down the downward spiral of late, but
so I'll go ahead and call out and say that I think that we've maybe forgotten what it was like to play any SEC team on the road.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I think that waiting since last Saturday, guys. I feel like Hunter Sanford. I feel like that everybody has kind of made comments that if you turn the ball over, if I were to tell you before the game, Jim, hey, we're gonna be -2 in turnover margin, and we're gonna give up a touchdown on the special teams. What do you think happens on the road in the SEC in that scenario?
Gosh. I'm going to tell you what doesn't happen. Win 45-19. Like, that is insane.
I mean, we are literally living the dream right now. We are living the dream. I remember at one point, like my biggest like frustration, like my wife was here, my son was here, like, Dad, why are you yelling? It was literally over the fact that I forgot that when you fair caught the kickoff on the 2-yard line, that it was a touchback. Yeah. Like, I don't like what? When did that rule change? Because I was pissed.
I love it. I love it.
I was so mad. I was like, what the is going on? I literally dropped the sorry Carter in my living room.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. And that helps explain the texting that went on right after that. So
yes,
thank you for that update.
I'm sure you were like, what the heck is it? Why is he talking about this? But seriously, like, when did that rule change? Because, like, to me, like, if you fair catch, like, you take the ball where you fair catch it.
Right.
How is it that we're able to fair catch on the 2-yard line and get it at 25? Like, if that's the case, like, why are we running the ball out of anywhere? Like,
that's what I've been trying to say. Now my statements the last like few weeks are clicking for you, John, because that's what I keep saying. Because our kickoff return is suboptimal this season. Just fair catch it every time.
Yes, every time. Like, just stop.
Yeah. Now, when did that rule change? I can't remember. It's a fairly, as far as our lives go, it's definitely fairly recent.
Geez,
I can't remember how. I mean, it's been that way for years, but I can't remember how recent it was. But yes, that is hilarious. That is hilarious.
Thank God, someone clearly said something to Kyrus on that one. Like, listen, this is what we're gonna do. Fair catch.
Yes.
From now on.
Yes. Agreed. Exactly.
Oh man,
love it. Well, yeah. I mean, and then just around, so we know the SEC championship matchup with LSU beating Arkansas. So LSU has clinched the West. I think technically there's a world where they could tie. There's a world where the West could end up in a 3-way tie still, but it doesn't matter.
Are you sure?
Yep. LSU's going to the game regardless.
Okay.
They hold all the tiebreakers. So there's no way that they can't go, but in the standings, like LSU, Alabama, and Ole Miss could all end up with 2 conference losses. It could happen, but
let me tell you, this result is the most optimal for us, I feel like.
Yeah.
I would prefer not to play Ole Miss. Frankly, Alabama at this point is down so bad right now that, like, I don't know that I'd want to play a cage tiger kind of situation, or a cage lion, I guess I should say, since we're about to play the Tigers. But this game feels like, you remember the SEC championship where we played Arkansas?
Yeah.
And blitzed them.
Yeah.
It was like 36-3. Like, I think the opening line for this game, and obviously we're going to have the SEC preview before we have 2 more games before that happens. But the line's 17 and a half or something like that, right?
Yeah. We're about to embark on 2 weeks of don't look ahead. Changing. Well, that and the whole, like, the Georgia fans online talking about SEC championship, and then the blowback of gotta focus on Kentucky, or gotta focus on Tech the week after.
I felt Scott, Will, and Tony, guys over at Waiting since last Saturday, they said the same thing. I think that they had talked for like 30 minutes or something like that before they even mentioned Mississippi State.
Right. Yeah,
they said the same thing. Like,
yeah. Got to focus on the task at hand.
We've got another tough road. Is it what's the next? Obviously, we're going to have a preview, but what's the next game?
Kentucky.
I mean, they've announced the time, right?
Oh, what is the time?
I can't remember if it's a night game.
Oh, sorry. What time is the next game? Yeah, Kentucky game's at 3:30, and then tomorrow on Monday we'll find out the time for the Tech game. So Tech game time has not been announced yet. We'll find it out tomorrow.
We assume it's going to be at 12.
Yeah. I mean, yep. I'm holding out hope that it's something else. But we'll find out. Yeah, hopefully it's not 12 o'clock. I don't want that, but we'll see.
I personally hope that it's something other than 12 o'clock, because I might try to bring the wife to this one.
Okay. Yeah. I am. Kim's going to come to this one, to Tech.
Yes.
To that one. So yeah. Cool. Alrighty. Well, I guess we can wrap this one up. 9-0. This 10-0. Gosh, season's going by so fast. I don't even know how many games we won.
Oh, I forgot to make the point on the road games. We're about to go on the road we're about to go on the road to Kentucky. Like,
yeah,
Alabama, like Kirby Smart mentioned, like it's tough to play on the road. Like,
yeah,
I think that Chris Marler had put out some statistics about the Alabama team that everybody is hating on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he put out like that Alabama, like of Alabama's like 5 losses or something like that they've had, like almost all of them have been on the road. Almost all of them have been at night. So it's point being, like, enjoy this. Like, when you turn the ball over, when you give up special teams touchdowns and you walk away with a huge win, like, look across the table at what's going on at some of these other programs. Like, that's the kind of thing that tends to happen on the road at night in the SEC. And we should enjoy this, because if you've forgotten, like, there's a world we used to live in where we lose that game pretty badly.
Yeah. Yep. The way things started turning, and the way the team just immediately turned it right back around to start the third quarter, I think shows a lot about the mindset and the resolve of this team. It's huge.
I agree, and I think that the media is starting to understand, because they were also mentioning that in the broadcast, talking. I think that sorry, who was the main broadcaster? McDonough was talking about how it was like a passing of the torch. Like, he was he actually said that on the broadcast. It's a passing of the torch.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Last week, he was referring to the Tennessee game.
Yes. Yeah. I do remember that now. Yeah, man. It's what a time to be alive.
I'm enjoying it. I feel like I'm letting Will get to me. we have to absorb this moment, guys, because I think that Tony and Will were talking about it on their podcast, but, like, let's just go get it. Let's just go get this thing.
Yeah,
let's go and win one.
Yeah, man.
Let's go win another one.
Yeah. I mean, why not this? Why not just do it again? Make history, do something that hasn't been done. Heck, and you know what, too? Like, it's what Kirby was saying kind of leading into this game was, this team wants to do something that last year's team didn't, and that's win the SEC championship. So,
sure.
Yeah. Sure. So there's another big goal out there. Cool, man. All right. Well, we'll get our particulars sorted out on timing and all that stuff, but we'll be back later this week to preview the Kentucky game.
Yes, sir, man. We got some bourbon selections to make, I'm sure.
True. Yes. You got to pick the right one when you're playing in Kentucky.
Coach Trill, I'm expecting some bourbon over-unders. Just FYI.
Nice. Awesome. Love it.
Hey, man, this was fun. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.